afternoon and let you know that I'm so thrilled for our university, our athletics department, our basketball program, and the men on our team. We just watched the pairings together, and when our name went up on the screen, there was tremendous joy and excitement in the room. And as a coach, being able to stand in the back and watch our guys celebrate like that is about as good as it gets. And so I'm tremendously happy for them. They put a lot of hard work in. They came together quickly as a team with so many newcomers and just did a terrific job. Very proud of them.
What went through your mind when you finally heard that was called?
There's no feeling like it. It's hard to describe, and you have a pretty good sense of where things stand because it's now so covered. I mean, everybody scrutinizes every detail, but until your name actually appears up there, you wait in anticipation. And when it finally goes up, it's an incredibly good feeling.
Was there some tense moments leading up to it, though?
Oh, absolutely. And especially as it unfolded today, we weren't announced to the third region. So half the field had been announced before our name appeared.
I heard a lot of your guys talked about hitting reset, putting everything the last couple weeks behind and moving on. Just how does the team do that at this point in the season?
Yeah, I think everybody does it, and I think it comes pretty naturally. Everybody has a sense of rebirth going into the tournament. I don't think the games that were most recently played, necessarily carry over. And I've done it long enough to see so many stark examples of that. Maybe the greatest example was our '87 team that went to the Final Four from Providence. We lost in the Big East tournament probably by 30 points to a tremendous Georgetown team. And a couple weeks later, that was the very team that we beat to go to the Final Four. Even when teams like Villanova have gone on to win the national championship with Coach Massimino, remember their last regular season game at Pitt, I think they lost by like 26 points. So it depends on, how far back into the season you want to pick a point. All the teams, when you see those names appear on the screen, I mean, you're saying, boy, there's a lot of good teams, a lot of evenly matched teams. And no matter what bracket you're in, you can't think you have anything other than a challenging game.
Without having looked at any film, any preconceived thoughts about Texas as a program or a team as a whole?
Yeah, the only thing I would say with respect to Texas is I worked for Rick Barnes at Providence as an assistant. He's somebody who I consider a great friend, somebody who is not only a great basketball coach, but even a better person. He's the kind of man that if you have a son, that's who you want him to play for. He's that good a person. And so I just have tremendous respect for Coach. And what he's been able to do at Texas over the years is incredible. He's really taken that program to unprecedented and sustained heights.
Jordan mentioned that he was confident everyone's going to see ASU play its best basketball. How certain are you that's going to happen?
Well, I mean, nobody can predict the future. We certainly are going to do our best. We're certainly going to give everything that we have. How that plays out, we'll see. It doesn't serve any higher purpose to make bold predictions. We have to prepare well, and then when the game comes, we're going to have to, play together and hopefully play our best.
Is there anything that's been going on lately that can't happen effective immediately in the tournament?
I'm sorry?
During the last 2 games, anything been going on with the team just in general, specifically, that can't happen come the NCAA tournament?
No, I don't think we've necessarily played our best lately, but we've played very good teams, and we've been on the road 4 of our last 6 games, and not including the Pac-12 tournament. And our league is really good. I mean, as Washington State, the last place team in our league beat the first place team by 18 points. So there's a lot of people beating each other through the course of this season. You know, we lost, obviously, the last regular season game to Oregon State on the road in a tough overtime game that was important to us. But Oregon State's a good team. They've beaten UCLA, Oregon, and people of that caliber at home. And so that's the kind of league it was this year in the Pac-12, and I think the committee recognized that, giving 6 bids to our league.
How many years did you work under Rick at Providence?
1.
So he left after Patino left, he took over.
There was one coach in between, Gordy Chiesa,
Okay.
then Rick Barnes, and I left Rick to rejoin Coach Patino at Kentucky.
Have you talked to him since the parents were
No, not yet.
Will you talk to him? Will you call him?
I don't know if we'll talk on the phone. We'll see each other, obviously, when we get there and that kind of thing. But, you know, right now, there's just not a lot of extra time, because we'll probably leave on Tuesday for Milwaukee, and, you know, we'll have to cram a lot of film work and preparation in, starting, you know, with practice tomorrow around the corner.
Seeing 6 teams get announced today in the Pac-12, what's it kind of like after the Pac-12 had, you know, 2 or 3 down years to see the conference kind of return to an elite national status?
Yeah, I think, you know, we talked about it all year that, you know, we felt the league was as good as it has been since I've come to Arizona State. Really a strong basketball conference right now. And, you know, any win you get is hard-earned. But it was a great day for the league. And there's other teams who didn't get a bid that are really good basketball teams in our conference. You know, you think about the likes of Cal, of Utah, you know, Washington, Oregon State. Those are good basketball teams. And I think the same can be said, though, in all fairness, to a lot of different leagues. You know, there's good teams with good records, you know, who aren't able to make the field.
Think about SMU being ranked in the top 25 but not getting in.
Yeah. You know, I don't, you know a lot about the resume, or, you know, I haven't studied the analytics of it like the committee has. But I don't envy their position. I mean, to discern who's in and who's out has to be extremely difficult. And then when you talk about seeding teams, that almost has to be impossible. I mean, how do you discern between who's 7, 8, who's 9, and who's a 10? You know, once you get maybe the outliers, like everyone knows Florida's a 1, once you get beyond those outliers, you know, just by the nature of college basketball, look inside our own conference, how could you possibly, you know, at the margin split hairs like that? So I think they have an increasingly difficult task as college basketball has gained popularity. There's more teams playing Division I basketball. There's more teams who invest great resources and energies to be good at it. And I can't remember at any point in my coaching career that started, you know, a long, long time ago, where there's been this many good teams, capable teams.
The strength of the Pac-12 obviously helped your RPI a great deal, but I noticed you made an effort this season to go and upgrade the non-conference schedule.
Yes.
Do you think selection today also validates the efforts in that area?
I think it helped us. I think it was an important step that we took. You know, we didn't pretend. We openly acknowledged that a year ago our schedule wasn't as strong in the non-conference. And likewise, we were very forthcoming going into this season that we had every intention of playing an outstanding non-conference schedule, which I think we did. And I think the committee has shown in recent years that they consider who you play in a non-conference to be extremely important.
You talked about watching, you know, your team celebrate and enjoy the moment, but what are your thoughts on a guy like Jahi or Jordan who are getting in for the first time in their last run with this
Yeah.
program?
You know, once again, I mean, as a college basketball player, it's a memory that you're going to have the rest of your life. And there's a lot of good players, good teams who don't have this opportunity. And so I'm very happy for them, but not only for Jahi and Jordan, but, you know, we have 2 senior walk-ons, Jared Upchurch and David Whitmore. And I was just filled with joy for them as well. The countless hours selfless hours that they put in, and they have a chance to be part of it too. And so, you know, from that standpoint, it's just really a good feeling to see so many young people, you know, be in that position.
Anything else?
Thank you, everybody.